Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are featuring this lovely Hanhart. This is part of the Pioneer range. It's the Preventor12 model, and to be fair, it hasn't been round for that long really. It's available in a blue dial version also, but I think the black dial just looks amazing. We have it here on the leather strap, but it's also available on the bracelet, which I want to talk about more later. Also, I'm going to show you something which will be sacrilegious to many kind of Hanhart fans out there, but I'll show you later that one. I think you might like it. So anyway, the watch itself, it retails for only £995. I do say only because Hanhart is a great company with loads of history. Being their entry-level watch, it carries a lot of the DNA from many of their other brands, and I just think it's a really cool watch actually. Definitely one well worth putting on the wrist. But before I get too far into this review, I've got to say a massive thank you to the team over at First Class Watches of Kenilworth for allowing me to review this watch. So many cool brands, many brands you will have heard of, but there will also be many you haven't. So well worth popping into the shop if you're in the Kenilworth area. If you're a little bit further afield, well, don't worry, I'll leave a link in the description and at the bottom of the page now. I'll ask if you do contact them, please mention the channel. So, sizes first. We are talking a 39mm case size, a very slim 10.5mm thick, a lug to lug I was reading of 45.7, and it's a 20mm strap size on this. The dial, obviously this has just got Hanhart kind of written all over it, I should say, just by the font, these cathedral hands. It really does scream out kind of vintage Hanhart. We have this real nice satin black background here. The printed on hour markers are good. There also is a decent amount of lume on this one. We have a very fine print minute track going around there, and we have a lovely red tip to that second hand. And as with the the minute hand as well, it does look like they are bent over at the end, which is quite a cool little feature actually. Because at first you look at it and you think, is it distortion? But then you realise it can't be, and it is very cool. It looks like the actual hands themselves look to be bead blasted and then filled with lume. We have the very nice Hanhart script up there, Prevento and automatic there. No made in Germany, which I am surprised at down there. I thought they would have included that. But overall, it's got that very vintage Hanhart feel about it. And what I mean by that, if you see mine there, you can see just, that font is carried straight across onto that model. It looks superb. Now, as we come past that, we're greeted with a ever so slightly domed sapphire crystal on there. Now there is AR coating, I believe, on the inside. It picks up a little bit of reflection really, but not so much. It does, it does mitigate. The AR is pretty good on the inside. As we come past that, we're greeted with this kind of a nice fixed bezel. The whole, I think it is all brushed all the way around. Is that polished? Or is it brushed? No, I think that's brushed also. So, it's just tastefully done. This is an entry-level watch after all, but it is done ever so well. And considering it is an entry-level watch, it has one feature which not even my Hanhart has, and this is a case hardened. It's got a case hardening process going across all the metal here. So what we're talking is standard steel is around about 200 Vickers in hardness. This has been treated to fully case hardening, so you are talking a harness of 1,200 Vickers. That is impressive. Let's put it this way, even if you go for some of the case hardened, say Seikos, they're normally only around about 500. I think even the base model, which have been hardened, the ice hardening from Damasco, I believe is around about 800 Vickers. So to actually get 1,200 Vickers on a base watch is truly impressive. This should look scratch free for ever such a long time really. One thing I should say as well, this crown is polished on the edge there, has got the H on there, and it is a nice chunky big crown on this. It is a really solid feeling crown. It is a screw down crown. You do get 150 meters water resistance out of this. and you can see there a lot of screw thread on there. Now, there isn't a ghost date on this, but because you get an excessive amount of travel on the actual setting lever, sometimes I've had it, to be fair, I've only had it once, it slipped once, and but you know, it shouldn't have a ghost. There is no ghost date. It's just a long travel between the points, and it is just solid, really easy to manipulate. You can see as well when I unscrew that, they have machined some of the crown back there, so you get a better seating with that crown. They are some out of the case there. So no, absolutely superb. On the back of this watch is a solid case back, just like the back of mine, to be fair. Underneath there, you have got an SW200 movement. So that should be about, I think it's about 26 joules by winding. I did put this one on the time grapher. Now, this is one little thing. I think it was coming in at -2 in the position I had it, which is a bit weird because normally they state that they regulate 0 to +8, the same as Zin do. But this one was actually coming in minus, and as to is mine here, at some point I need to take it back off and I'll regulate it and swap it around. But it is just a little bit strange they do that. I haven't had it on a test rig for any period of time, so I can't tell you if that levels out as it's on the wrist. But yeah, we're still talking -2. That is still within chronometer specs if you were looking at the Swiss side of things. So really, it's no problem, but I'm just a little bit surprised, just my own curiosity on that one. Now, we do feature this one on the bund strap, but it is also available on a bracelet, very similar to what we have here, but upgraded. So this one is a standard, I think they actually use this same one, but then they treat it to the case hardening PVD system. So if you get this one on its bracelet, the bracelet comes in at 1000 Vickers in hardness. I would be really intrigued to see if that would fit this model, because if it does, I might even get one myself just for the case hardening process, because it's normally the bracelet and the links on the side which take most of the impact from everyday life of you're putting your hand on the desk or whatever, things like that. That's when they get mostly scratched. For cases, normally you never have a problem with, but it's always the bracelets which tend to take the most punishment. And the beauty is, those bracelets, if you buy them from Hanhart, I think working at 250 euros, which is insanely cheap for a bracelet with that amount of case hardening. It is a true bargain, no ifs or buts. But just for a little bit of fun, and I think one of my subscribers asked if I could try this, I thought, will I be able to fit the Zin rubber strap onto this? And because, you know, these I found, you would not believe how many watches these actually fit. Now this one here, I can't remember what it's off. It could be a EZM2, I think it was, or an EZM3. I tried it on here, and wow, it looked good. Honestly, I think they're missing a trick. It suited the watch amazingly well. I was really impressed with it. So food for thought, you know, if that's something you want to try, if you're anything like me and you like your German watches, you're bound to have crossover points. And if you've got a Zin silicone strap, it's worth trying fitting it on there. Another thing I should mention with this bund strap, if you can take off the actual backing part and you have it just on a leather strap if you want. So, you know, you can do that. This one does obviously have the markings at the top there. So it's kind of one of those things for an entry-level watch. Realistically, I'm pretty certain first class watches would sell one of these for about £900. And for that price, it's very good. I probably will do a comparison with a 556 later down the line, and that's going to be a tough one because even though they're both entry-level watch powered by, okay, it's got a top grade movement, it's tough. This offers a lot, I have to say. Anyway, I'm going to, what am I saying? Let's put it on the wrist first. So anyway, quick wrist check. As I've said, I'm wearing my Hanhart 417 historic model with the flyback feature, which is just gorgeous. As I say, that comes with the same case back and the non-case hardened actual bracelet there. Bob, as we pointed out, is wearing a Zin 556A. My wrist size is 7¼ inches. That equates to 18.5 centimeters, I believe it is. I'm not really a bund strap junkie. That's why I chose to get that one on the bracelet. But on this one, it kind of suits it well. I think it does look really good. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. But most important, you all stay safe out there. Take care. Bye.